Okay, so in 1993, I was diagnosed with the most advanced case of thyroid cancer ever seen in a living patient. I had large masses in my neck, that's why they did this ear to ear surgery, and I had hundreds of thousands of tumors in my chest. Even with all the work they did in my neck, I still had a great deal of cancer left up there. Three large masses wrapped around my trachea, lots of lymph nodes that were still encrusted with cancer, and both of my lungs had thousands, hundreds of thousands of tumors in them. So I had a massive growth. Well, the first radiation treatment was 150 millicuries. And I can remember the physicist coming into my room on the fifth day, and she looked at her Geiger counter, and she looked at me, and she looked at her Geiger counter, and she looked at me, and she looked at the Geiger counter again, and she looked at me, and I was like, seriously, dude, what's going on? And she said, well, Jennifer, you've been in here for 5 days. I've never had anyone here for more than 24 hours before. And you're only down to 45 millicuries. And I knew that I wouldn't be allowed out until I was down to 20 millicuries, which meant it was going to be a while. And she was like, yeah, the half day life on this is 8 days. And I went, I can't do another 8 days in here because it had already been 5 days. And she said, actually, it'll be more like 12. And I had to stay for another 12 days. It was pretty rough. And even then, my daughter had to go live at my boyfriend's grandma's, at his mother's house for a month because it wasn't safe to be around me. So then I had my second radiation treatment, which was just as big as that one, but I think I was only in there for a week that time. And when it was time for the third one, they went ahead and built a lead-lined room for me at OHSU. And people weren't even allowed to walk past in the hallway because they gave me 350 millicuries of radiated iodine. And they wheeled this cart in, and they said, no, the dose we're about to give you is marginally legal. We're not actually supposed to give humans this much radiation, but you've been really open to experimental treatment, so we're going to do it. And I said, oh. And they said, well, we're going to send someone in with a Geiger counter tomorrow to see how hot you are. What do you say? And I said, fuck you, man, I'd like Valium. And he went, oh. And I felt his heart just stop and drop because he had spent $3 million of his $5 million grant on the lead-lined room I was sitting in. And his guinea pig was balking. And I said, no, I'll do it. But when I'm nervous, I throw up, and I don't want to throw this up. And he said, oh, no, you don't want to throw this up, and you don't want to get any of it on you. So they gave me the Valium, and they gave me some anti-nausea medication, and as soon as they were all gone, I smoked some pot. And I opened up the lead container, and I pulled the glass bottle out, and I poured the pills into the paper cup, because one of the other things he had also said was, for God's sake, don't touch these pills with your fingers. So I spent several days in that room. It was pretty eerie being in that lead-lined room. But when it was all done, I still had a couple thousand tumors left in my lungs. And a few years later, I came in and had my final radiation treatment, and that one was smaller, just 25 millicuries, but it left me in bed for 4 solid years recovering. And that was pretty rough. Radiation was tough. It compromised my entire immune system, gave me blisters all over. made me sick all the time. And bedridden. I was in bed for years. The first time I was in bed, I was bedridden for almost 4 months. And I thought I was going to die. But that wasn't so bad, really. The next time I was bedridden for barely a year. That one was tougher. And then the third one, after that third radiation treatment, that gave me some severe depression, in addition to being so sick and stuck in bed. And that was about 2 years of just wanting to die all the time. And thrush. Oh, that was terrible. It was all very, very hard. I suppose if I knew then what I know now, I'd have fixed it all with cannabis oil. Never would have had any radiation. Probably wouldn't be so sick now. But there's no going back. I just hope I can get other people to do better moving forward.